Diane, and this is How to Train Your Caterpillar, a spiritual life coaching channel. You are very welcome here. Thank you for checking out the channel and the video. I appreciate it a lot. This video is going to be about like how emotions can kind of get stuck in the body, and they can kind of fester and they can manifest as disease or like, you know, illnesses within the body that you might have problems shifting. So this might be useful for people who've like had a lingering health problem that you're like, wow, I've tried so many different things, none of it's working. You may find that tackling it from like an emotional standpoint is something that can help you shift it long term. So before I get into it, I just want to say again, thank you for checking out the video. Hopefully you'll find something in it that you can use and you'll enjoy it. And if that is the case and you feel called to like and subscribe for me, I'd appreciate that a lot as well. Also, I have to have a proviso in here. Like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical healthcare professional, I'm not a mental health professional. So if you are seeing someone like that for a certain healthcare problem, obviously what I'm saying in here does not supersede the advice or the medicine that they've given you. Like, carry on doing that. It's just something that you might want to try in addition, So everything is energy, right? Like, your entire body is energy. I feel like I say this in every video, but it's true. And I feel like the more that we get our heads around this, like, the more things are going to start shifting radically. The entire body is energy. So you have 7 different like main chakras. There are lots of chakras, but you have 7 main chakras, which I'm going to put a video up here, a picture here. So you have the root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and your crown chakra. So those are the main 7 energy points in your body, like the ones that tie you to the earth. And like once you get way up here above your head, there's ones that sort of tie you into the universe that are kind of like your GPS coordinates, so you don't get lost. That's how I see them. Because otherwise you would just be free-flowing energy, right? So the 7 chakras, that's why I talk about them so much, because they're so important. Like, it's literally what defines you. These are the things that define your body. So these chakras, they feed into something called meridians, which are like the energy channels in your body, which are the things that sort of give energy to the organs. So if you have a block in your chakra, it's gonna, like in any of your chakras, it's gonna cause blockages in the energy flow in the rest of the body, because the emotions are also energy, so they have to go somewhere, right? Like negative emotions, they have to go somewhere because you're not releasing them. Sometimes they can get kind of stuck in the body and like fester. It's the same with anything. If there's a blockage somewhere in an energy system, it stagnates and it festers until it's removed, right? And it's kind of the same thing with your body, except because it's your body, it tends to manifest as like a disease or a health issue. So different emotions will affect different chakras. Like, there's some of them where there's a crossover, but in general, like, different emotions will affect the different chakras. So if it can be both things, like it can be past trauma, like emotions, like negative emotions from past trauma that you haven't dealt with, that you've kind of repressed and you've kept repressing until it sort of has become a health problem for you. But it can also be, it's almost like the way that you've sort of learned to deal with life, right? Like, say you generally have a lot of fear about life because you've had a lot of past traumatic experiences, that's going to show up in the body, or if you have like a lot of grief, or if you have a lot of anxiety, like if you're very prone to having a lot of anxiety and that's kind of how you see the world, that's going to show up in your body. So it's almost like learning to break the mindset and kind of learning like to ask yourself, like, why does it keep showing up like that, right? And I'm going to explain what I mean, but like what traumatic experiences from the past do I need to like deal with so that I can not see the world in an anxious perspective, or that I can at least lessen my anxiety or my fear, right? So for example, let's take the root chakra. The root chakra is one, like that's the lower one, the red one, and it gets blocked by fear, you know. So if you have like a lot of fear around, you know, money, for example, like you know, you have a lot of problems with money, or you're always worried that you're going to have a lot of problems with money, or you're worried about having a safe house, you know, feeling safe, feeling secure. Like maybe you didn't have a very secure childhood, or like you ran into some money problems and like that's kind of traumatized you. A lot of that fear tends to sort of stay in the root chakra area, so you may find that you have like problems with your legs, or you may find that you have like sciatica, or it can show up as constipation. Like constipation tends to show up for people that have a lot of, you know, fear. Is like, oh my god, I have to get this done, like there's always so much pressure to get things done, you know, because you have that fear that if you're not going to get it done, then you're going to lose out in some way. You see what I mean? Or like with the heart chakra, the heart chakra is one that tends to get blocked by grief and sadness. So if you have like a lot of grief and sadness from your past that you maybe didn't want to deal with, or you know, you have a lot of sadness or grief about something that's going on now, or you know, it's like unprocessed melancholy from the past or something like that, you may find that you have problems in this area. Like you might find that you have heart problems or lung problems, like asthma or something like that. You know, with the sacral chakra, the orange one, this is something that tends to get blocked by people, like if you have a lot of anxiety, or if you have a tendency to repress emotions in general, you may find that you kind of manifest a lot of diseases related to that. Like anxiety tends to be something associated with the kidneys, like kidney problems, that tends to be an anxious thing. And the bladder as well, right? Because like, you know, people that are very anxious tend to like pee a lot more, right? It's like anxiety. And the last one that I'm going to talk about, like the throat chakra, and you can kind of hear it when I speak. Sometimes I have problems with my throat chakra. Like if you have a lot of anxiety around, because I do, I have social anxiety. Like if you have a lot of anxiety around excuse me, like letting your voice be heard, or like around people, or kind of like a, you know, like a fear or like an anxiety around what people are going to say, or how they're going to perceive what you're saying. You hear my throat going? Like you might end up hoarse quite a lot, or you might find that, you know, you end up repressing your voice and you have like throat problems, or you have teeth or gum problems or something like that. So, you know, if it's like a health problem that you've had a lot, and you just feel like you've, you know, tried a lot of stuff to shift it, even changing your diet, you know, you may find that kind of tackling it from an emotional point of view might be the thing that helps you, right? And this is something, you know, there's a lot of different information on it. I forgot to bring the book over, but there's a particular book that I also talk about a lot. I'm going to put it up here. It's called, what is it called? The Art of Surrender, I think it's called. I'm going to put the link in the description box, or the description box. It's called like Letting Go, that's what it's called. Letting Go, The Pathway to Surrender by Dr. David Hawkins. And basically what he says in this book, like if you wanted to read more into this, because obviously it's a vast topic, because it's all about the human body, right? And it's, you know, it's like a very like ephemeral, kind of ethereal, well maybe not ethereal, but like kind of an ephemeral sort of thing. Like there's still not that much information out there on it, but it's something that you're probably going to have to do kind of trial and error yourself to see what works for you. But this guy here, David Hawkins, he used to have a ton of illnesses, like lots of like allergies, lots of illnesses, lots of fears. And basically what he talks about in this book is like how when he learned to let go of emotions, they all disappeared. Basically it's like almost like a mind over matter kind of thing. Like when you learn to change your mindset about things, it tends to remove problems in the body, because like what the mind focuses on, the body will almost like create it, you know what I mean? So he's definitely worth a read if you're into, like, if you want to, you know more about this stuff. It's really fascinating. This is also this thing that I've put up here, this the Hawkins scale of consciousness, that came from David Hawkins. So really interesting guy. His books are very accessible as well. There's also, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can look up. There's someone called Louise Hay, Hay, who kind of specializes in this stuff, and she even goes so far as to diagnose like specific illnesses and specific ailments with specific kind of almost emotional events, like emotional triggers, which some people, I think the jury's kind of out on her, but I have to say she's been right about quite a few things to do with my health, which I'm not going to go into here because obviously, you know, I don't know, I'm just not. You know, it's something that you would have to check out yourself and see, like, oh, that sounds like that could be true for me, you know what I mean? Because she goes into specific things like, you know, psoriasis, for example, or sciatica, or like, you know, teeth problems, you know, this kind of thing. So she tends to sort of link, like I said, specific emotional events and triggers to specific illnesses. So if you wanted to check her out, if you go to like a search engine and type in, I think, Louise Hay, list of symptoms, that would come up. I can't actually link the website anymore because YouTube won't let me do it in the description box, which is fine. I understand why they're doing that, keep everybody safe, but that's why I'm not linking it. So, but you will probably find, because everything comes back to the chakras, you will probably find that the solutions that everybody offers for the different diseases and the different health problems will probably end up coming back to chakra work. Because, for example, psoriasis is something which it can be linked to like a fear of getting hurt, which can be a heart chakra thing, right? And also, like, that comes from Louise Hay, right? So this is something that Louise Hay said, like a fear of being hurt and like repressed emotions. So a fear of being hurt would be your heart chakra, and a lot of people who suffer from psoriasis find that eating a lot of greenery really helps, and like eating green stuff is something that helps with the heart chakra, you know? So it's like these inadvertent kind of cures that people have found, well, not cures that people have found for like certain illnesses. It tends to affect the chakras. So you're basically doing chakra work, you know, or somebody might give you affirmations, which is also something that's going to affect the chakra. Yeah, so that's the video. I don't want to keep talking because, like I said, it is something that you know, depending on what the health problem is that you suffer from, like, you probably have to sort of do a bit of research and try this and try that, because sometimes there is a crossover, like I was saying with the psoriasis, you know, that would be like a heart chakra issue, but also a sacral chakra issue because you're repressing emotions. So I hope you found this useful. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for me if you feel like doing that. I'd appreciate it a lot. And as always, I wish you many blessings, love and light. Take care.